Welcome to Zarberg. All right, guys, we are in Germany, in Rhineland-Pfalz, very near the border with Luxembourg and pretty close to the border of France as well. And this little town, beautiful, beautiful village like you find all over Germany, has a waterfall running right to the middle of town, has a nice creek running right to the middle of town, history, castles that we're going to check out today here in Zarberg. There's a chairlift that's going to take us up over the vineyards, and there's a summer toboggan run. We're going to ride that too. Hopefully, visit the castle, visit the church, have some nice lunch, and what else? What else is on our agenda today?
Just exploring.
Just exploring. We'll see what happens. There's a museum we might go check out as well. There's a lot of mills and things like that. It just seems like it is a really, really nice town, and we can't wait to go explore it. All right, let's go.
In the heart of Zarberg, something incredible happens. A roaring waterfall crashes through the center of town. Surrounded by centuries-old buildings and cobblestone streets, this 20-meter cascade turns an ordinary village into something unforgettable.
This part of town where the creek goes through is called, not surprisingly, Little Venice, although I haven't seen any gondolas here yet. But this creek, I believe it's called the Leukbach, and so Bach means creek in German, and so the Leuk Creek, I guess you would say. So it encircled the town in the early Middle Ages, and there's a castle. It went around the castle. There's a castle on the hillside right outside of town. But in the I think it was the 13th century, they wanted to have enough water in case there was a fire in the town. So they actually diverted the river or the creek to go through town in the 13th century for fire prevention. And if you look at these flower boxes here, we have Luxembourg flags. So we're really close to Luxembourg. I don't know exactly how far the border is, but Luxembourg City is only like 30 miles away. So it's not far at all. And so the capital of Luxembourg is like 30 miles away. If you're familiar with Rhineland-Pfalz at all, the city of Trier is only like 15 miles away. So we're really close to Trier, really close to Luxembourg City. So if you're exploring the area, this would be a nice stop to come in for a day trip to visit Zarberg. And if you don't know about Trier, you should check out our video on Trier last year. It shows you everything to do for the Roman ruins, exploring there, and the beautiful city of Trier here in Rhineland-Pfalz. All right, so as we explore through the town, I want you to look at some of these buildings that are along the creek. And these narrow buildings, I was reading that they put oak poles into the ground like centuries ago. So some of these are, probably 500 years old or older, and they put these big oak poles into the ground next to the creek after they diverted it to put the buildings on top of it. So, quite an archaeological feat, quite an architectural feat, I guess, to put these buildings along this creek after they diverted it through the city for fire prevention. All right, so as you might expect, a village town from the Middle Ages that has a stream running through it, probably had a lot of mills, right? So you can see over here, we've got some of the water mills running along the creek, and up right there, the building says a museum. That is the watermill museum for the town. It opens up at 11 o'clock. I think it's open Monday. I think it's open every day. Not quite sure about that, but it's supposed to be really interesting. I'm not sure if we're going to make it in there today, but I think it's really cool to look down on these still functioning water mills, and there's some really big fish in this creek too. I don't know what they are, but we were looking at it from up above, and some really big fish. So if you're interested in fish, you can come check those out too. All right, so this part of town is called the horse market or the butter market. So I guess at one point they sold horses and butter here. It's kind of the center of town, the pulsating heart of Zarberg. So we were getting hungry. We thought we'd stop and have an early lunch So we stopped here at, like right at 11 o'clock. And so we got here just in the middle of the food serving time. So they serve breakfast until 11 and breakfast stops, but they don't start serving lunch until 11:30. So we got about 30 minutes to wait until they start serving lunch. So we'll just sit here, but they are serving beer. So we're gonna have a nice beer and wait until we can order some food. All right, so cheers from Zarberg. So we were able to our lunch, and I have Flammkuchen, which is kind of an international treat in this region. I actually think it comes from France, from Alsace, the French region of Alsace. We had it last year on our trip to Colmar. Check that video out. But it's just a very thin, kind of like a pizza with a white sauce, and typically the traditional is onion with a little bacon on it. So really quite tasty. Looking forward to that. And Betty has, spaghetti bolognese, which is, you can find that virtually in every Italian place. So just a quick lunch, probably nothing that's going to get any Michelin stars, but it smells good, and I think it's going to tide us over for the rest of the afternoon. And you can't beat the view. I mean, look at this right here along the creek, along the canal. Really, really nice flowers, and great day. Beer's good too. All right, so we had our meal here at Hotel Amat, and the food was okay. It was 42 euros for both of us. We had 3 beers, a plate of spaghetti bolognese, and a nice Flammkuchen. So it was pretty good. I would say definitely worth it. Interesting thing is that our server's name was Rene, which is not a typical German name. And I asked him where he was from, in German, and I did not expect his answer to be New York City. So Rene is from New York, speaks English, and then we switched to English. He's actually been living in Germany for 35 years. Or is it longer than that? No, 35 years, right? 45 years, 40 years. He's been living in Germany for 40 years. He splits his time between Hamburg, big city, second largest city in Germany, up on the north, and here in Saarburg, a sleepy little town here in Rhineland-Pfalz, a beautiful town, but very small. So interesting. You never know who you're going to run into or where they might be from when you're traveling. So yeah, just maybe when you're having dinner or whatever, having lunch, ask your server where they're from. You might be surprised what the answer is. So this is the St. Lorentus Church in Zarberg, and built in the 1300s originally. It's very nice, has some very nice views of the city from the outside. And what I find kind of interesting on the inside is that basically half of the church was destroyed during air raids during World War II. They were trying to take out bridges on the Saar River, and I guess they hit the church on accident. So if you look, basically the columns on that side were built in the 1940s after the war, and these are the original old columns on this side. So basically half the church is modern, half the church is very old. Hello. So we are taking the chairlift up from just outside of the center of town, and it's taking us up over I think some vineyards, and we're going to go up to a place, and then we're going to hike back down. You could take it up. You could get it both ways or round trip. So for one way up, it's 5 euros per person for adult. And if you get it round trip, it's 8 euros per adult. We're going to go up, and then we're going to walk back down. And there's also the Autobahn up here, so we're going to check that out too. I believe that's only 3 euros per person, so which is a very good deal. All right, so I just did the summer Autobahn here above Zarberg, and I think I've got some footage on the GoPro. It was €3, so definitely worth €3. So, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like riding down a big slide on a in like a cart. So not quite like some of the summer autobahns you go up where you're really like kind of like it's almost like a roller coaster, some of them. This one was more like a slide, but still it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth €3. There were a lot of kids riding it, and they were really getting some speed. I was very tame on it. But you can buy like 10 rides for €20. 25 euros. So you could ride 10 rides for 25 euros. Whereas when we were in Leavenworth, Washington a few weeks ago, we rode the one there and it was 20 euros for one ride. So $20 for one ride. And so this is definitely a better bargain. And the kids were just having a great time. So I can highly recommend that if you're in Zarberg, come out here. And we rode the chairlift up above the city. And that was, what was that? €5 per person. And or you could do it round trip for €8 per person. So we rode it up and we're walking down through the vineyards, having a nice walk back down to town. All right, that's the report from the Autobahn here in Saarburg. All right, so this tower behind me is one of the last remaining parts of the original medieval fortification of the city of Zarberg. And we're right on the Zar River. And so this also served as the customs point. So when ships were coming in and out, trading along the Zar River, and they needed to bring stuff into Zarberg, this is where they paid their customs, I guess, went through customs. And also it said this served as the icebreaker. I don't know if that means when the river froze over, they would go from here to break the ice on the river. Perhaps that's what my literature said. Got some nice vineyards here, nice views of the city, and it's really nice. They've got this really nice trail right along the river. Very nice place to go for a stroll. And just a little bit, a couple hundred meters down the trail here, there's a point where you can hop on a ship, and they have little river cruises along the Zar River. They're about, I think, an hour and a half. Duration. I'm not really sure where they go, and I'm not 100% sure what the prices are either.
I think it's €18.
18 euros per person.
I think it's
round trip. So you go for about an hour and a half, come back. A pretty nice day to spend the afternoon on a nice sunny day here in Germany. Okay, so we had to get an afternoon cake and coffee, right? So we stopped, and I have a Nuss Nougat a piece of cake. I have a latte macchiato, nice little heart on top. Betty has an iced coffee, which is ice cream with coffee in it. And it's so warm, we wanted something to kind of quench our thirst. So we got a nice bottle of water, and to our surprise, it had ice cubes in the glasses. So that's something you don't see all the time when you're traveling through Europe, but it was a nice surprise, and it's really refreshing on a hot day. So we're going to get our coffee, get a little energy back, and go visit the castle here in just a few minutes. All right, so we came up to the castle, the Zarberg Castle ruin. And this is really cool. So you can, it's not a very far walk to come here from the town, but our parking had run out, our paid parking. So we just got in the car and drove up here. So there's free parking, and the castle itself is free, and it is really cool. I'm gonna go in this old tower here. All right, so we're up here at the Zarberg Castle, just a really cool complex built in the late 1200s, early 1300s. And, just a really interesting fortification. Has some really thick walls, a really cool tower, which I just climbed, and hopefully got some nice footage up there. It was really windy to talk. But they've got part of the castle is now a really nice looking restaurant. Unfortunately, today's Tuesday, and it's closed on Tuesday. I think it's closed Tuesday and Wednesday. So open again on Thursday. Maybe we should have waited to come on Thursday, but it looks really nice, and the views are really cool up here of the Saar River. And if you come into town, you want something else to do, it looks like right across, they have canoe and kayak rentals. We see some people getting some kayaks out of there. So that's something nice to do in the river. So yeah, what a great day. It's been a great day trip for us. And what a nice way. So if you live around the Kaiserslautern area and you're looking for a place to go, Zarberg would be a fantastic day trip for you. And really nice day. So thanks for watching, and thanks for joining us on this adventure. As always, we really appreciate your support. Hope you liked it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, give us a like, leave us a comment. We love hearing from you, and we read all your comments, and we reply to as many of them as possible. And so let us know, where do you like to explore? What castles do you like? Have you been to a town that has a waterfall right in the middle of it? Let us know, and I would be excited to hear from you. As always, thanks for joining, and tune in next week, and we'll see where we go then. Bye.